Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are going to start the training. Firstly, let me introduce myself. My name is Shou, and I'm the engineer of ITC. And today I'm going to share you about the IP77 series broadcast system. During the webinar, if you have any questions, please just type your question directly in the chatting room, and our colleague will answer it for you. Okay, let's start. So in this slider, we are going to show you about the IP broadcast systems. First, we are going to introduce the structure. And second, we'll talk about the solution. And the third, we'll talk about the application. And in the last, we are going to show you some functions about this IP broadcast system. Firstly, let's have an introduction about the traditional broadcast, and let's learn about the difference between the traditional broadcast system and the IPPA system. So as you can see from this page, if we use the traditional broadcast system, some of our customer may not be familiar with the broadcast system. So I will going to introduce about the broadcast system first. Okay, in our traditional broadcast system, we will have three parts to deal with the audio. Firstly, we need a resource, audio resource. This is part one. And then we will need an audio processor to process all the audio signal, and then distribute them to the amplifier. This is part two. And the last part will be the amplifier and the speakers, which is part three. So in a PA system, it contains three parts. In this case, in the traditional broadcast system, on the first part, we are going to use the audio source like MP3, CD player, FM player, and AM player, and so on. So we will need tons of device to connect with the audio process part. So it will take too many places, and we have to make too many wiring. So it could be very hard to do the wiring. As you can see from the picture, the jump wires is very annoying and disturbing. And the second part, in the audio source part, audio processing part, we will need some mixer, amplifier, or pre-amplifier, to enlarge the audio signal from CD player and MP3 player. So there will be also some parts, audio processing parts. And some of the client may need the timing function, which means you need to add one more device to realize this in the traditional broadcast system. So at the end of the day, you have to use too many devices in the traditional broadcast system, and the wiring is very hard to connect, and it's not really user-friendly. It's very hard to manage. So that's the short part of the traditional broadcast system. In this case, our company has developed one IP-based PA system, which is very convenient and easy to manage. Okay, so why do I need to choose IP system but not traditional analog system? Here are some differences between IP system and analog system. So firstly, our IP system are based on local area network or wide area network. There's no limitation of transmission. As long as you have the network, you can place all the devices in anywhere. And for an analog system, we have a 1 kilometer transmission limit. And second, it's easy cabling, and you can use your existing local area network to build up a IP PA system, which is very convenient, just like I mentioned. And for analog, it's very complicated in cabling, and we use the higher labor cost. And third, in IP system, there is no limitation of zones. You can create as many zones as you want. For analog, there will always be some limit. And fourth, it's very easy to do the expansion, and you would just need to add one more device into the IP system, just that simple. But for analog system, sometimes you may need to change the whole system to expand it. And for IP system, we have the intercom function, which means you can use the intercom unit to have a phone call. So you can use the intercom to communicate with the control rooms, something like that. And for analog system, it's without intercom. And with this IP system, we have a software to make program such as timing and triggering, and it will be more flexible and much more user friendly. But for analog system, they are all device and there's no software to manage anything. And last but not least, we have a SDK package which can be provided to the third party, and then you will able to integrate it with the other systems like third-party CCTV system and access control system, or even BMS, building management systems. So it's very flexible and easy. But for analog, it's without SDK package. It cannot integrate with any system. So these are the main differences between the IP system and the analog system. Next, let's check about some solutions. This is architecture about the IP77 series. So as I mentioned, for the broadcast system, we need three parts. First, audio source. Second, audio processing. And the third, the amplifier and speakers. So in this IP system, what do we need? For the audio source, we can use the traditional one like CD player, radio deck, AM, FM turner, wireless microphone. We can collect the outside audio source to this system by the broadcast server, and also you can do paging or play background music on the server itself. It has a broadcast room. So this is how we deal with the audio sources. And the server will be the audio process part. Just only need one processor. Yeah, and even your personal computer could be the server. Just need to install the software and your PC will become IP PA system server. And in this system, we also support the broadcast station, sub broadcast station, which means if there are multiple users in the campus or other big projects, there will be many users. So we can create a user and then give them the priority to control different zones or speakers. And also there will be one important part as well, which is fire alarm linkage. We use this device to integrate with the local fire alarm system. Once there is a fire alarm, the short trigger will be on, and you can determine to play different music in different evacuation message in different zones. And for paging part, we have this desktop paging microphone with a touch screen, which is very convenient to use. And in the IP system, every terminal has its own call code. Like you can create the call code for every terminal, like 123 or 444, anything else. So you can use this paging microphone, just press the buttons and then page to any of the zones you have. Next, the intercom. The user could use the intercom to speak with the paging microphone in the control room or broadcast room, whatever. And we have different types of emergency intercom, like normal intercom terminal or emergency terminal with different types. This is the intercom part. And the next is the IP system terminal. We have this kind of terminal that was built in amplifier, but is also a network adapter, which we will use this kind of terminal to decode the network signal into a audio signal. And we have these models from 7760. It means built-in amplifier with 60 watts to 120, 240, and 350, 500, and maximum to 650 watts. So you can just use this kind of terminal directly connect to the speakers like this. Each of the terminal, each of the amplifier will be one zone. And what if the power exceed by 650 watts? We will use a different solution to deal with it. Firstly, we are going to add one network adapter, which is similar to this IP system terminal, and it will connect with the backup secondary amplifier. The amplifier could be 1000 watts to 2000 watts, which is very big output. Usually use it for outdoor zoning like a park or some other big projects, big sites with big output speakers. And last, for the classroom, we have made some special units. This small box, we'll just place this small box on the classroom, and then it has a small output of 25 watts, of 30 watts to connect the speakers, to connect with two speakers. So it means it's very suitable for the classrooms. And in the following, I will going to introduce all the detailed information. Any questions, please feel free to type on the chatting room. So there will be five major feature about the IP broadcast system. Firstly, real-time audio accretion, which means you can collect the outside audio source like MP3, CD player, AM, FM turner, and so on. And second, the terminal preset. You can preset your terminal, your device, make your device automatically connect to the server and configure to avoiding a variety of transducers configuration, which means the terminal is very easy to do the configuration. You just need to plug in the network cable, will be get online. And the third part, MP3 remote sharing. So in the server, there will be there will be a music library, and the user could use the music library to, to broadcast the music, some audio file. And third and fourth, TTS text to speech. In this system, we have built-in TTS text to speech function, which means you can upload a TXT file, and then it will transformed into audio directly, which is very convenient when you needed to make a easy broadcast. And then last, we have a digital map function. About this function, I will introduce later in the demo software. And for this system, we have four platforms of control system. First, we have website-based control, and second, we have PC client side, which means you just need to install the software on the PC, and then you are able to control the broadcasting and playing music and so on. And also, we have the mobile phone application for iOS and Android. For IP77 system, we have two types of authorization. Firstly, don't go, and secondly, with serial number, which is very safe to do with the registration. So how do we deploy the system? It's very easy. Every terminal will have its own RJ45 ports. You can just directly plug the network cable to the switch, and then the system will be built up. In this system, we support computers, smartphones, and tablet and other client terminal. The interface is very clear and simple. It's very user-friendly. Like I said, fully support Android, iOS, Windows, these operation systems. And 77 series supports a multi-stage architecture solution. So in some of the big solution like school campus, the terminals could be very too much to load up for only one server. So in this case, we will use the multi-stage solution, which means we will need multiple server to deal with all the terminals. Firstly, we will build up one first-class server. So this first-class server will control the other secondary server. These are the secondary server to control like A school, B school, or C school, or A branch, B branch, C branch. So in this primary server, we will build, you can just create a task, music play in the primary server, and the primary server will send up the text to the secondary server. It's very easy to build up this kind of structure. And then all these server will receive the signal, and then they will play the required music or audio file. And then in this system, it's with HD and hi-fi sound quality solutions. The sampling range reached to 48K hertz, and with 768 kbps audio streaming, which means we will have a perfect sound quality. Next, we have a listening test backup solution. For this kind of solution, we mostly used in China, because in China we have a college entrance examination, which is major important for the students, for them to joining up to the college, which is very important. So we have made up this kind of function in the listening test. So it's like this. The listening test audio file will be played on the server, and it will transmit by the network to the terminal, and at the end comes to the speaker. But what if the network just shut down or are having some problem? So we have added this kind of analog audio broadcast as a backup line. So once the network is shut down, this analog broadcast will come up, and to ensure the test running. Next, we have a major important function, which is emergency broadcast solution. So in 77 series products, many of the products are with short circuit input, which means we can integrate with the fire alarm system by the short circuit input. As you can see, this is the fire interface equipment. There will be many short circuit inputs here to integrate with the fire alarm system. Once there are fire short signal gets into this device, and this device will trigger with the server, and the server will play the preset audio file or evacuation audio file to the public, which to use it to realize emergency broadcasting. Next is a special device for classrooms. We have this kind of active network speaker to deal with the classroom projects. So we will just need one pair of active network speaker to mount on the wall, and it has a wireless microphone, headset microphone, which means teacher could use it to speak to the class and having class. And some of our products has their remote. The teacher could use the remote to slide up or slide down the PPT, which is very convenient. And also it has local audio input, which means the teacher could use their own computer to connect it and then play the sound or audio on the PC and then spread to the classroom. These are some products in our 77 broadcast system. We have wall mount speaker, ceiling speaker, garden speakers, and column speaker as well, horn speaker and the pattern speaker, high quality wall mount speaker, and high quality horn speaker. Also, we have IP-based column speaker, and this one is the terminals. This T-7701 is the audio decoder, which we will use it to decode the network signal into analog signal, and it will connect to an analog amplifier to deal with the big power project. And next we have the fire interface and also timer. This is a satellite timer to make sure the time are correct, and terminal with built-in amplifiers 7760 series, and the terminal with amplifier built-in and with 8-zone included, which means it has 8-zone output. And these are the intercom units, waterproof intercom units, and this is the hot cell paging microphone. And this small box is for classroom usage mostly. It can connect with two small output speaker, and this one is BG. 7705BG is with a microphone, and this one is a much more function with microphone and remote control MP3 player and some other box as well. And these are the active network speaker with the wireless microphone, and also this one with microphone and the MP3 remote. And at the last line is the server, rank server. If the budget of the project is small, we can also just install the software into the PC. The PC could be also a server. But for normal projects, we can use the personal computer to deal with it. But if the terminal are too many, we will have to use we suggest to use our broadcast server T-7700 series to deal with multiple terminal projects. And for control end, we have PC and iOS, Android. So that's all for the products. So here are some applications, campus broadcast applications in university. Actually, the structure are similar to the page I just introduced. Next, park area broadcast with two-way intercom applications, bank applications, also with intercom, prison with intercom, commercial city, hotel. Okay, next we are introducing the software of the 77 series background. This is the interface. We will just go to the demo software and let you see the functions later. This will be the interface. These functions like help documents, running program, management function like media, library, data backup, PC client side management, terminal status, all these functions we will show you in the demo software. And this is the audio mobile application. This is the whole structure of the 77 servers. So this is end for the slider introducing. And next we are going to the demo software. Okay, we just got into the demo software. Now it's Chinese. I will change it into English for you to understand. So we have multiple languages supported with Chinese, English, and Russian, France, and also Koreans. Let's first talk about the first page. In here, you can see two QR code. This is for the mobile application download. Next, we accessing to the home page. From here, you can see many buttons like today's mission status, terminal status, session status, terminal status, release status, and so on. So for now, we have only one demo server. And you can see its status is online. And the session status to check all the information about the tasks. Terminal status, we have no terminal online because we are using a demo software. You can see there are several of terminals here. These are the IP address of the terminal and the call code and its relay server. And the terminal volume is also adaptable and terminal type as well. And in this button, we can use it to do some edit. And in this page, you can see we can deal with the terminal name, terminal IP, call code, priority level, server, and you can choose it to according to its type to choose the right terminal type. This is the ordinary terminal or intercom terminal or acquisition terminal, backup terminal, and so on. And this is the volume setting. We can set the default volume, broadcast volume, intercom volume, and other setting like frequency. Once you finish the setting, and you press save. So here's the terminal status. And in the management part, you will also see the terminals management as well. Next, we introduce about the group management. So in the group management, you could create as many groups as you want in this section. So firstly, we'll just add one group, create a group name, and create a group coding, and choose the terminals you want to be in one group, and then save. That is so simple. And about user management, just like I mentioned in the slider, the user could create multiple users for different role of users. Like if you are dealing with the campus project, there will be many users to be set, like the principal's account, teacher's account, or student's account. These are all operational. So let's get into one and see about the functions. Also, similar, we set the username, login password, confirm about the password, and we can give it a priority level, and we can also assign a role for it. We can create a role such as teacher, student, principal, manager, so on. And the same password. And you choose a user type. Is this the super administrator or normal administrator or common user? And you can assign the terminals for them to use. If they don't have the terminals in this group, they won't be able to to control or broadcast through that very terminal. Okay, it's also very simple. Next, let's see about the time framing and the timing task. In this page, you could create a timing task or timing rating. The settings are also very easy to set up. Just press the add button, create the task name, choose a start date, and choose an end date. And set up a start time, set up a priority level and task volume. And in this section, you choose to play music or terminal collect, choose the acquisition terminal. But in here, we don't have the device, so we will not show about it. And sound connection as well. For this sound connection, you can collect the audios from the PC, like when you are playing the YouTube video or some other music, background music, you can use this sound card collection to collect the YouTube audios or BGM audios from your PC and set the direction and date settings. Choose the date you want to play and choose the terminal you want to play. And that's all for the timing task. And next, the most important part, which is the alarm strategy. In this section, we use this add button to add some alarm strategy, alarm task as well. Choose alarm name and choose the alarm terminal. The alarm terminal should be the T-7723 model and alarm port. Select the alarm port. On the alarm terminal, there will be 16 ports for the short circuit inputs. And you can choose them one by one, which one as you wish. And set a priority level and set automatically release or no, and volume. Here also, we choose to play music or terminal connection. In alarm triggering, we don't have the sound card collection because it's evacuation message, so it won't be necessary to use the sound card collection. We choose the music file. Here, this is the music we already uploaded into the media library. Randomly choose one, choose the play mode, and choose the terminal to be run. And this is how the alarm triggering set. So once if you choose all of the ports, so once there's any ports triggered by the short circuit, this music file will be played in the very zone you selected, all these zones you selected. Next is the remote control. We also have the remote control products. We can use the remote control to choose music play or choose the audio source But for this function, we don't usually use it. The settings are also very simple. Just add and create task name, remote control name, and select the button and choose the music file to play or terminal connection. For this, the third one, quick partition. This is we are using this quick partition to set up the zone buttons on the paging microphone. We will just select the paging microphone, and then zone you can choose already sign up, and you can choose them one by one, and then all this zone will be shown on the paging microphones button. And next, let's talk about the media library. So here is the media library. We can create as many folder as we wanted and upload the music files. It's very simple. The last one, system configuration. Excuse me, my network is having a little bit slow. So here you can set a priority with different functions, like fire alarm default 100. 100 will be the most advanced priority, and 95 for urgent talkback. These are all settable by yourself. And registration information you can check in here. Log management, system log, which user are logging and which user are unlocked. You can check in here. Backup and recovery. We can back up all of the data or the media library in here, and it will create a folder on your computer. And once, if you need to change a PC as a server, and you will use this recovery to upload the backup file, and then the system will be running again. Next, firmware updating. This need a password. You can use it to upload the firmware. So what will be the network electronic map be? We could upload the map of the site. Like if we are placing a campus project, we could upload the campus map onto the system. And then in the system, you can place the terminals points onto the map. And then there will be some indication lamps on the map to tell you about the status, if this terminal is on busy, is on playing music or playing fire alarm, is something like that. So that's all for the systems introduction. And later we will go downstairs and show you some real functions about the broadcasting or intercom paging. And we'll come back later, like in 10 or 5 minutes. In this time, you could also type in the chatting room to ask the problem if you are having.